Hi, Eric Lanask. We're here in Las Vegas at ITEXPO. I'm talking with Philippe Lindheimer and Tony Lewis. They're from Schmooze. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So what'd you guys think of the Wozniak keynote?
It was interesting hearing his take on Apple and Jobs and everything around Apple in the early days. I read the book on Steve Jobs, and it's just interesting hearing it from him a little bit.
Absolutely. It was being an engineer at heart and having started my career at Hewlett-Packard as well, and a lot of the similar motivations why he wanted to go there. It really resonated. It was really fun to see that and kind of his progression. And I wasn't quite as quiet and geeky as he was when he was young, but at heart I am.
Well, it was definitely interesting to hear the background, and yes, he obviously has a soft spot for engineers still.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, how's the show been for you guys?
It's been good. It's our first time at the East Show, or I'm sorry, the West Show. It's been very impressed with it so far.
Good, good. So what have you guys been up to?
Well, in February of this year, Schmooze Communications had purchased SipStation and FreePBX from Bandwidth.com.
Mm-hmm.
So just a lot of post-merger, bringing in their technologies and some of the employees and just moving things forward from the acquisition.
What was the motivation for those acquisitions?
I'll let Philippe answer that.
Yeah, well, the motivation was really taking FreePBX to the next level. FreePBX started its infancy, kind of a hobbyist, very quickly got serious. FreePBX domain had Bandwidth.com as its steward for a while, so I was at Bandwidth during that time. But as it really grew and as the different interests changed, the partnership with Schmooze was brought together. It was very strong, and it was the next natural evolution. It made sense. Bandwidth wanted to do the right thing. Schmooze wanted to do the right thing. And by bringing FreePBX and the SipStation business together into Schmooze, it opens up all sorts of great possibilities and capabilities that we want to be doing with FreePBX and in the cloud as well.
So you mentioned growth. Both of you referenced the growth of FreePBX. What are the market factors that have been driving that kind of growth?
I think, well, part of it is the openness of FreePBX. The fact that as Tom Keating alluded in one of his blogs recently, is it can do anything you need it to do. He was amazed in his own environment, the flexibility of it and things that he didn't think he would be able to do that he was able to do with it. So I think that's a lot of the growth in FreePBX has been, is how flexible it is, the openness, and the fact that it's free.
So you've got the openness, obviously the cost factor, right? The openness, the flexibility. So if you don't have somebody who, say, has the skill set that Tom has, how easy is it for somebody to get set up?
It's relatively easy nowadays with different install images that we have. The ability to buy our pre-installed appliances from our store, pre-installed, set up for you, shipped to you. Anywhere from hobbyists to basic entry-level IT people, to a lot of just secretaries manage FreePBX systems nowadays. Over the last few years, it's really been simplified and evolved.
It's a fairly crowded space, the PBX market. How are you, what kind of challenges are you seeing going to market, and what are you doing to differentiate yourself in the market?
I mean, it's the openness of the project, right? The freedom to do anything you want with it, the ability to customize it, and the far reach that it has just made it explode and continue to explode. It's a crowded space, right? And there's different appliances out there, some of them very turnkey, and some of them make sense and are the right solutions for certain users. What we've done to differentiate ourselves, unlike most other PBXs, is FreePBX can be designed around a customer's business process, right? You can put in a PBX that wraps itself around the way the customer does business, whereas almost every other PBX out there forces the customer to wrap themselves around how the PBX has dictated they should deal with their communications. And that's a huge part of it, and just that flexibility.
Explain that a little bit more. So that, as you said, the ability to build the PBX around the company's business as opposed to the other way around.
Without diving too technical, I mean, free PBX, there's probably two dynamics there. Just in the way you design, your inbound or outbound call flows that can just do kind of an infinite chain of call flow as you're trying to process a call or get a call somewhere, to the huge range of modules. It's a modular PBX, and between what we provide, between the free modules, between some of the commercial modules, and between what the entire ecosystem out there provides, there are so many different specialized solutions to fit the needs. And then we do everything reasonably possible to let free PBX be customized to the power of the underlying Asterisk engine that's underneath there. So if you want to do your own stuff, right, your own dial plans and whatnot, you can do it but still plug into free PBX so that we aren't trampling on top of what you're doing. So it's completely open and customizable in that sense, and lets people build those solutions.
Who's your target user? Who's your typical customer?
I mean, our typical customers are 5 users up to 4,000 or 5,000 users on single PBXs. I mean, it's small business up to enterprise and everything in between. We offer a lot of different support contract, some low-level stuff, even some enterprise stuff, and it's your startups up to your Fortune 500 companies on free PBX.
Well, so right there with that range, 5 to 5,000, you're competing with just about every other PBX vendor on the market.
All day long.
Are the differentiating factors the openness, the flexibility? Is that enough for you to make enough inroads?
Well, the openness, the flexibility, the feature set. It's got more features than a lot of your enterprise systems out there. The fact that you can build the features if they're not there, you can customize them. You can't take a Cisco system and build your own features inside it. And that's the benefit of free PBX. And the cost in this economy, everyone's very cost conscious.
Agreed.
And all the way from small businesses to, once again, enterprises. In that flexibility, everything we talk about, free PBX, that word free over the years has kind of scared people. But over the last year, the big marketing campaign is it's free, freedom of choice. And that's on display at our booth with over 240 different devices that you can auto-provision in free PBX. And then your PSTN cards for your T1s or analogs, we support over 100 different PSTN cards inside of free PBX. So your freedom of choice is limitless in free PBX.
So for companies who may not have, who want to leverage that flexibility, the openness, and I think you both use language like you can do anything you want with it, but maybe don't have the talent in-house to be able to do that, what kind of opportunities do you offer for building new applications?
So we have a professional services arm that works anywhere from just general support up to engineering level customizations, new features, building things, down to our reseller channel that we've started building over the last year and letting resellers help service those customers direct. But a lot of the engineering side is, or I guess the custom features somebody wants, if they don't have it in-house, it's done with our professional services team.
Got it. One last question. I've got a couple of folks here I've heard comment that they really like the company name. Where'd Schmooze come from?
So our first 6 months in business, we didn't have a name. Originally when I started the company, and our graphic artist came up with the name when we were trying to come up with a name. And he credits his wife for it. I'm not sure the whole backstory, but he came in one day with a whole logo and said, "How about this?" And I said, "I love it. Let's go with it."
Sounds great. Philippe, Tony, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.